From Karl Malone fathering twins with a 13-year-old to Dennis Rodman grappling with his father's betrayals while repeating them with his own daughter.
We had an expedition and we kind of lived in that for a little bit. I'm crying. No one knows what's going on. And I'm like, dude, my dad's here. And then I walk over and again, there's cameras everywhere. He grabs my head.
And then there's Tristan Thompson, constantly at odds with the Kardashians.
Like, I made Tristan do 3 DNA tests.
These NBA icons carry family secrets far darker than any championship. We start with the most shocking of them all. Michael Jordan, basketball's greatest, has always guarded his life like he guarded the paint. But even Air Jordan couldn't dodge one of the darkest chapters imaginable. On July 23, 1993, James Raymond Jordan Sr. was shot while napping in his Lexus on a North Carolina highway, a random carjacking, authorities said. 2 teens, Daniel Green and Larry Deary, were later convicted, with his body found weeks later in a South Carolina swamp. Then the rumors hit. Michael's well-documented gambling habits sparked wild conspiracy theories, mob retaliation, unpaid debts, whispers linking it to his Atlantic City casino trip during the 1993 playoffs. His sudden retirement that October only fueled the speculation. Investigators confirmed it was nothing more than a tragic random crime. Jordan himself called the rumors cruel and painful, addressing them emotionally in The Last Dance, debunking the gambling links once and for all. In 2013, a paternity lawsuit added another twist when Pamela Y. Smith claimed Jordan fathered her 16-year-old son. DNA proved otherwise, and Smith had to pay his legal fees. But when it comes to paternity scandals that actually shook the league, Karl Malone makes Jordan's dismissed lawsuit look like child's play. Karl Malone.
How y'all doing? My name's KJ Malone. I mean, I'm probably going to get a lot of backfire for this. My mom's probably going to get mad at me. But at the end of the day, I mean, I'm just doing this for my family and, just standing up for my dad. After, last night's episode of The Last Dance, it showed how great of a player my dad is, but people don't want to see that. People want to look at his past. He made a mistake, but at the end of the day, he's still a great dad.
The mailman delivered on the court, but his personal life, that's a whole different story, one that will make your jaw drop. At 20, Karl Malone, a sophomore at Louisiana Tech, impregnated 13-year-old Gloria Bell. Under Louisiana law, the age of consent was 17, yet Malone faced 0 legal consequences. Bell's family reportedly declined to press charges to protect his NBA future. Let that sink in. Basketball mattered more than justice. On May 3, 1984, Bell gave birth to twins, Cheryl Ford and Demetris Bell. Malone initially denied paternity during a 1986 lawsuit filed by Bell's grandparents, seeking just $200 weekly in support. A DNA test confirmed he was the father, but the court only ordered $125 weekly plus medical expenses before Malone settled quietly. Demetris, who later played in the NFL with the Buffalo Bills, described Malone's role as more like a sperm bank donor. In 2008, he revealed that when he reached out as a teen, Malone told him it was too late to be his father, that he'd have to make it on his own. And the 2004 Vanessa Bryant harassment incident only deepened Malone's troubled legacy. But if you think Malone's denial game was shocking, wait until you hear about the next legend and his elaborate system of hidden children. Calvin Murphy, just 5'9", remains the shortest player in the Basketball Hall of Fame, but his family tree? Massive. The Houston Rockets legend fathered 14 children with 9 different women, most out of wedlock and hidden from the public eye. The truth blew up during a 2004 child abuse trial. 5 adult daughters accused Murphy of abuse between 1988 and 1991 when they were 6 to 13. Prosecutors painted a picture of a man running a divide-and-conquer operation, telling children not to call him dad in public to protect his wholesome image. Trial testimony revealed out-of-wedlock kids scattered across the country, receiving minimal support, while Murphy's legitimate family enjoyed full benefits. The defense argued it was all resentment and disputes over $52,000 in death benefits. After just 2 hours, Murphy was acquitted. He returned to broadcasting in 2012, calling it the toughest ordeal of his life. Murphy's 14 children made headlines, but the next legend turned fatherhood into what some might call an extreme sport: Shawn Kemp. The Rain Man dominated the 1990s with thunderous dunks in Seattle, but off the court, his production was just as prolific. A 1998 Sports Illustrated article, Paternity Ward, revealed 28-year-old Kemp had 7 children with 6 women. Rumors inflated that to 11 children with 10 women, but credible evidence confirms 7. Child support obligations contributed to his net worth dropping from over $90 million to around $5 million. His known children include Shawn Kemp Jr., who played at the University of Washington, and Jamon Kemp, who suited up for Southeastern Louisiana University. Kemp married Marvina L. Thomas around 2001, reportedly having 3 kids before separating. In 1999, Kemp addressed the Sports Illustrated article on Jim Rome's show, admitting his actions were wrong and that he had to live with the consequences while trying to be the best person he could be. Former teammate Gary Payton joked on Vlad TV about young NBA players not prioritizing protection.
7 kids by 6 different women. And that's my OG, man. That's your OG. And I asked him about that. He just said, hey, I was having fun. That is what it is. You're having fun.
But if Kemp's 7 kids seemed overwhelming, the next legend took fatherhood to an absurd level. Dennis Rodman, the Worm, dominated the boards like no one else in NBA history. But his family story may be the most heartbreaking. His father, Philander Rodman Jr., abandoned the family when Dennis was just 3, eventually moving to the Philippines and fathering at least 29 children with 16 women. Some reports claim Dennis has as many as 47 siblings, a number he himself has confirmed. Rodman didn't meet his father until a 2012 exhibition game in Manila, after 42 years apart. The reunion was brief. Handshakes, small talk, cameras rolling. Philander Rodman Jr. was running a restaurant called Rodman's Rainbow Obama Burger. He died in 2020 from prostate cancer, never truly reconnecting with his famous son. That cycle of abandonment didn't end there. Dennis Rodman's own 3 children felt it too. In December 2024, daughter Trinity Rodman, now an Olympic gold medal soccer star, spoke openly on the Call Her Daddy podcast, describing years of pain tied to her father's partying, alcoholism, and absence. She accused those around him of protecting his image while failing to protect the family. Rodman later responded on Instagram, apologizing for not being the dad his children wanted, while insisting he still tries. His 2011 Hall of Fame speech remains one of basketball's most emotional moments, as he broke down in tears, apologizing directly to his kids for not being there. And speaking of Hall of Famers with complicated family dynamics, the next legend faced paternity denials and serious accusations: Dominique Wilkins. The Human highlight film electrified crowds with gravity-defying dunks, but his private life carried enough drama for its own documentary. Born in Paris while his father served in the U.S. Air Force, Wilkins was one of 8 children, largely raised by his mother after his father, described as a playboy, left when Dominique was 12. Paternity lawsuits followed. In 1987, a woman from Michigan filed suit. In 1991, Elizabeth Webster claimed Wilkins fathered her daughter, Chloe. He initially denied knowing her, later acknowledged paternity, and agreed to child support. In 1992, the situation escalated when Webster filed battery accusations during a visitation dispute. Wilkins was found not guilty. Across 3 marriages, Wilkins has 5 confirmed children, including daughters born with spina bifida and autism. family tensions deepened when his first wife allegedly gained financial control, prompting Wilkins' mother to seek a restraining order over alleged threats. On Club Shay Shay, Wilkins said his son would always know his father, something he himself never had. But when it comes to paternity drama, few stories are messier than Scottie Pippen's. Michael Jordan's legendary sidekick won 6 championships, but his family life reads like a soap opera. Raised as the youngest of 12 children in extreme poverty in rural Arkansas, Pippen went on to have 8 children with 4 women, several involving paternity disputes. In 1994, twins Taylor and Tyler were born to ex-fiancée Sonia Roby. Pippen initially denied paternity before DNA confirmed it. Tyler died just 9 days after birth, a tragedy rarely discussed. In 2024, Taylor said publicly that Pippen didn't want to meet her growing up, describing emotional distance despite financial support. Pippen's firstborn, Antron, died in 2021 at age 33 from complications related to asthma and sickle cell anemia. In a public tribute, Pippen admitted fame pulled him away and expressed regret over lost time. His 2021 divorce from Larsa Pippen, followed by her relationship with Michael Jordan's son, only reignited long-standing tensions. But if Pippen's situation was complicated, the next star is racing through fatherhood at record speed: Anthony Edwards. The Timberwolves phenom became the face of the next generation, while his personal life made headlines for all the wrong reasons. By 2025, Edwards had at least 3 children born in 2024 alone with 3 different women, with rumors of a 4th circulating online. His story begins with tragedy. He lost both his mother and grandmother to cancer in 2015, 8 months apart at just 14 years old. His father was largely absent, leading him to take his mother's maiden name. Daughter Amelia was born in March 2024. Another child followed in October with Asia Howard, prompting a public paternity dispute. A third child was born the same month, leading to yet another DNA filing. Edwards wears jersey number 5 because both his mother and grandmother died on the 5th, a number he honored by sitting beside their portraits at the 2020 NBA draft. But speaking of allegations escalating far beyond paternity, with the next star, Zion Williamson. Once the most hyped prospect since LeBron, Zion's off-court drama has threatened to eclipse his talent. Court filings accused his stepfather of accepting improper payments during Zion's Duke season. In 2023, a public paternity announcement triggered explosive accusations from adult film star Mariah Mills, leading to lawsuits, suspensions, and widespread media fallout. By 2025, civil lawsuits alleged stalking, abuse, and sexual assault. Zion's representatives have denied all claims. And then there's Tristan Thompson, whose family drama played out in real time on reality TV. Like, I made Tristan do 3 DNA tests. Thompson's relationships became recurring storylines on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. 4 children with 3 women, public cheating scandals, and a 2021 paternity revelation that humiliated everyone involved, confirmed by DNA, followed by a public apology admitting Khloe Kardashian didn't deserve the pain. But even that isn't the end. Dwight Howard, Superman on the court, has 5 children with 5 different women. Years of custody battles, public accusations, and emotional admissions followed. Howard later acknowledged he wished he had handled fatherhood differently, admitting the pain caused to his children and their mothers. And finally, the cautionary tale of complete collapse: Jason Caffey, a 2-time NBA champion who earned over $35 million and lost it all. 10 children with 8 women, arrest warrants, jail time, bankruptcy, child support debts exceeding $1.9 million. For some legends, the damage didn't happen on the court. It happened at home. In a 2019 Boston Globe profile, Caffey attributed his behavior to a painful childhood, growing up without parental love, struggling with undiagnosed mental illness. He has since reconciled with his children and even co-authored a book on sex education for young boys. But when it comes to NBA players whose child support obligations reached astronomical levels, the next case suffered a similar financial collapse. Willie Anderson. The former San Antonio Spurs guard earned roughly $10 million over a 9-year NBA career and walked away with almost nothing. Anderson fathered 9 children with 7 different women, a reality that dominated his post-retirement life. In 2003, a U.S. district judge divided Anderson's $1.75 million deferred Spurs payout among creditors. The IRS claimed nearly $397,000 in unpaid taxes, including debts tied to a failed nightclub venture. 3 women, his ex-wife and 2 former partners, sought hundreds of thousands in back child support. The judge labeled Anderson irresponsible for repeatedly missing court dates. The ruling left his children receiving about In 2003, a U.S. district judge divided Anderson's $1.75 million deferred Spurs payout among creditors. The IRS claimed nearly $397,000 in unpaid taxes, including debts tied to a failed nightclub venture. 3 women, his ex-wife and 2 former partners, sought hundreds of thousands in back child support. The judge labeled Anderson irresponsible for repeatedly missing court dates. The ruling left his children receiving about $12,900 annually each, while the IRS and divorce settlements consumed much of the rest. Despite the turmoil, daughter Alex Anderson went on to play college basketball, suggesting some involvement even amid the chaos. Anderson has largely stayed silent, guarding his privacy long after leaving the league. But not every complicated family story ended in court. Lou Williams openly challenged convention and made it work. The 3-time 6th Man of the Year shocked fans by publicly dating 2 women at the same time, with both fully aware and supportive. They attended games together, formed a friendship, and raised children without secrecy or scandal. Williams never hid the arrangement, defending it as responsible and stable for his kids. Even Drake immortalized it in 6th Man. There were no lawsuits, no paternity disputes, just an unconventional structure handled openly. In a league filled with secrecy, Lou Williams may be the rare case where honesty prevented disaster. And finally, a legend who mastered privacy. Patrick Ewing. The New York Knicks icon maintained one of the most guarded personal lives in NBA history. His first son was born in 1984, while Ewing was still at Georgetown, a fact kept quiet until reported publicly. Though unprepared for fatherhood at the time, Ewing later built a close relationship with his son, who followed him into basketball and now coaches with a family of his own. Ewing's later marriage ended in divorce amid rumors and admissions that reflected league-wide realities of the era. But compared to others on this list, his story lacks explosive scandal. His children appear grounded, no public feuds, no courtroom chaos. Sometimes the most shocking secret is simply having none at all. That's where we draw the curtains. For more stories like this, click the card on your screen.